Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Zoe Alex, welcome. So basically, in this wonderful reading, I'm going to be telling you all this is for July 22nd to July 28th of 2025. So this is going to be for a tarot card reading. It basically is going to be letting you know about what's going happening in this way. It might give you some advice. It might give you some quantities, whatever it is. Because this is the way you kind of understand that, right? So the way how this is, the way how you're going to, the way how it's going to be in that way, you have to know exactly what you're going to be doing if you are feeling responsible, if you're feeling about how you're going to be feeling, because the way how it is, right? So you have to believe that this is a way of having your own circumstances of how you're feeling, how the way how it is, how you act, how you're, the way how it is. And when you do it, that's the way it goes. But how comfortable it seems to be that. And when you do it, you have to know exactly what it takes, and you have to get into self-involvement, whatever it is. And this is the way it goes. So this is not like a play-by-play situation, but the way how this is, you need to have your own self expression, your self way about monitoring of who you're feeling. That's how it goes. But this is way how you're doing is you're trying to compel of how you're feeling in that way. You're trying to have your own ownership or companionship or whatever it is. That's how it seems to be, and this is the way it goes. That's how it goes. But this oracle card, it says, surrender. I can release my need to control. That's how it goes. So when you surrender, you have to way it goes, right? You might be surrendering about, your life skills. You're surrendering about your emotions. Maybe you're surrendering about you can't do this anymore. There are things that you must learn first in order to do that. And when you have your own surrender, you pay attention on whether it takes, whether you're going to get yourself valuable or how it is. You have to know exactly how it is. You're trying to have your own way about saying, okay, this seems to be, alright, I know what to do. But then you have to realize about this is the way it seems to be. You have to go with the flow. When you go with the flow, you know what it takes, but you have to know what it is in that way. Alright? So that's how it seems to be. So you're going to see what's going to be happening in this way, because this is the way it's going to be in this way, because you have to know what it takes. So we're going to be going from the left side. We're going to figure out on the right side. We don't know what's in the middle, so we're going to see what's happening in that way, and we have to know what it takes in that way. Alright, so here we go. So in this wonderful feeling, you have the Hangman reverse. There's no restrictions, not right now, right? You're not trying to be having your own restrictions. You're not trying to be restricted. You're not trying to do what it takes, okay? That's how it goes. But in theory, you have that based on how it goes in one way or another, so you have to know what it takes in that way. You're trying to have your own, employment or your own diploma, whatever it is. Because when you have no restrictions, you can do whatever thing you want. You can do whatever you want, and that's how it seems to be. So that's on the left side. On the right side, you have the Nine of Swords. It does represent trauma here, because you're feeling like you're feeling sad, whimpering, you don't know what to do. So you could be dealing with another Gemini, Libra, Aquarius as in air signs, because you pay attention to what's going on in that way. You're trying to have what it takes in that way, and you have to be who you are and be authentic about what's going on in that way. So you have to understand that. So let me clarify on the left side, please. So Empress is upright, there's nourishment. The Page of Wands reversed, there's no invention. Star is upright, there's inspiration. Yeah, because when you wish upon something, you are wishing upon what's going on to be truth, to be who you are. That's how it goes. And when you do that, you have to know what it takes, because you have to know what it is in that way, because you're trying to have a rebound, whatever it is, but then you know what it takes. You know how you're going to get valuable and the way how it is, and that way you're trying to do exactly what it seems to be. You're trying to have your own ownership to understand what you want and what you get, and how you can do that in that way. You need to be valuable of how things are in that way. You're trying to be committed. You're trying to do exactly what it takes. But then when you have your own wish upon a star, you wishing upon something, if it's going to be, being wished, and it's going to become true or not. It all depends about you, how it is. Let's have with this Page of Wands here. The Queen of Cups is upright, so it does represent empathy. There's two sides of this story here. One makes sense, one doesn't make sense, but you know how it is. So you can be doing this in Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio as water signs. You pay attention to it in one or another, and you have to know exactly how it is from your pride and joy of the situation. It's like, alright, I know what to take, alright, I know what to do, but then you know what it is in that way. You're trying to be loyal of knowing what to do in that way. You need to see the true colors in that way, right? You have to be who you are to think, alright, well, this seems to be, and I know what it is, but then this is the way it seems to be in that way. It's like how you're going to do it, how you're going to define it in that way, right? You have to be skeptical of how things are in that way. It's like, alright, I know what to do, but then it just seems to be that, right? This is the way of how it goes. You're trying to have enjoyment of how it seems to be in that way. Let's have something between the right side, please. The Fool reverse, there's no change. The Sun card reverse, there's negativity. Moon reverse, there's misrotations. Yeah, in that way, right? So when you have negativity, it's like you're drawn into being negative. I don't know why, but there is a way about how it's going on in that way. And what's happening between this Fool and this Moon card here? The Three of Cups is alright. Yeah, there's excitement. Alright, so there's a celebration here. That's the way it goes. What's happening with the Sun card here? The Ten of Swords here, there's no conclusions. The Three of Pentacles here, there's no excitement. The Two of Cups here, there's no relationships or friendships. But the Lovers is upright because you're making decisions. Yeah, because the way how this is, you need to know what to do. You're trying to fight off of how it's going to be. It's like, why you're doing this, why you need to see it. Because the way how it is, you're trying to set your own standards. You're trying to know exactly what it takes in that way. You're trying to know how it is. You're trying to believe about what's going on in that way. It's like, okay, I know what to do, but then this is the baseline of how it feels. You have to see your own true colors. You're trying to have your own balance of life. You're trying to pay attention on what's going on. If you're surrendering, if you don't care, whatever it is, it's like, why are you doing this? This is not a pity party. This is not the way it goes. But why? Because you have to know what it takes. Alright? So what's in the middle of this situation, please? The Two of Wands reverse. So there's no planning here. There's nothing. So when you're not planning about what's going on this way. It's like, why are you doing it? Why that you're thinking that this is the way how it goes, right? This is how it's going to be in that way. So what's in the middle to the left side? Let's see. So the Sun card reverse, so there's negativity, alright? The Strength card is upright, you're being brave. The Chariot reverse, there's no progress. The Fool reverse, there's no change. The Moon reverse, there's no misrotations. But the World is upright, there's completion. Yeah, because everything is completed, It's like, why are you doing it? Why you're trying to not mess up? Why? Because you need to understand that. It's like, why are you, be boastful or know what to do? It's like, why are you cringe? Or, how it is. You need to believe but what's happening in that way. So let's see what this Virgo card is. The Taurus reverse, there's no decisions. The Emperor is upright, there's nourishment. But the Judgment is upright because you're taking action. Yeah. When you're taking action, you know what it takes in that way. It's like, okay, I know what to do. I'm going to gradual of how things are. Alright, because this is the way it seems to be. If you're going to take action, you know what it is. Right? You have to go with the flow. Go with the flow, right? That's how it goes. Because when you do it, that's the way it seems to be. You're trying to know what it takes. You're trying to be on about that. You need to understand of how it goes. That's how it seems to be in that way. So what's happening between the middle and right side, please? The Tower is upright, there's transformation. The Star is upright, there's inspiration. The Empress is upright, there's nourishment. The Magician reverse, there's no skill. The Devil is upright, there's obsessions, there's addictions. That's how it goes, right? So it's like, why are you having this? Why are you having violence? Why you are, saying bad language, whatever it is, You have to know what it takes in that way. You're trying to do exactly what I told you to do in that way. It's like you're trying to have, you don't want to be irresponsible, but why would you do it? That's how it goes. What's the middle of this situation here? The Fool is upright, yeah, because there's change. When there's change coming up, there is ways that you need to understand that. You're trying to master your own ways about knowing what to do. You're trying to have your own predictions. You're trying to know exactly about all these events that are coming up, whatever it is. But you know what it is. You know how it's going to be in that way, and you're trying to do exactly what it is in that way. You're trying to be who you are, and you have to understand what it is in that way. So let's see what's going on from the middle to the right, middle to left. The 10 of Sorcerers, there's no conclusions. 4 of Pentacles, there's no money. The Strength card is upright, there's bravery. 5 of Cups is upright, there's grief. The 5 of Swords is upright, there's conflict. Yeah, exactly, because you're not getting what you want. It's like, why are you saying it? Because you're trying to be brave. You're trying to do exactly what it takes. It's like you're saying, no, I'm not doing it anymore. I quit. But it's like, why? So you're trying to figure out what's happening that way. You're trying to use your own way about how it is. This is not mathematics. This is not the way it goes. But you know what I mean, right? This is the way how it seems to be. What's happening between is 4 Pentacles and this 10 of Swords here. The King of Cups is upright, yeah, because you want support. So when you have support, you know what it takes, right? So you could be dealing with another Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. You could be dealing with another Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You could deal with another Leo as a fire sign, as zodiac signs. You're trying to do exactly what it is in that way. It's like how you're going to emphasize of how you're feeling in that way. It's like how it's going to be of how it is. So let's see what's happening between the middle and the left side. The 5 of Wands reversed, there's no chaos. 6 Pentacles reversed, there's no kindness. King Pentacles upright, there's security. The Queen of Cups reversed, there's no empathy. 8 Pentacles is upright, there's excitement. Yeah, see, everything is like perfection. That's how it goes. The Knight of Cups is upright, there's romance. The 2 Pentacles upright because you're balancing 2 things at once. That's how it goes. And the 3 Pentacles upright, there's excitement. That's how it goes. You're trying to figure out, alright, I know what to do. Alright, this is the way it seems to be. I got this. It's like, yeah. But then you have to go with the flow. You have to pay attention, right? You have to set your own standards to know what it is, right? That's how it goes. Let's see what's happening with this, what the universe is saying. So let's go from the middle to the right, middle to left. For one start, there's celebration. The 10 of Wands reversed, there's no burdens. The King of Cups upright, there's support. 8 of Swords upright, there's an understanding. 6 of Swords upright, there's movement. Yeah, exactly, right? So when you have an understanding, you pay attention. When you have movement, you pay attention of where you're going. If you have support, you pay attention to what's going on. If you have celebration, you pay attention. That's how it goes. What's between the middle and the left side? The Page of Swords here says no education. The 10 of Cups here, there's incompletion. Page of Pentacles upright, there's prospects. 8 of Swords upright, there's anxiety. King of Pentacles upright, there's security. 5 of Cups upright, there's grief. Yeah, exactly. And the Hangman reverse, there's no stillness. 2 Wands upright, you are planning on something. Yeah, so you're planning. When you're planning, you know what it takes. You're trying to get involved of what you're going to be doing next in that way. So let's see what's happening between these 2 wands. 8 of Pentacles reversed, there's no growth. The Empress upright, there's nourishment. The Magician reversed, there's no skill. Queen Wands upright, there's charisma. Alright, so that's how it goes. Alright, so that's how it seems to be in that way. You're trying to figure out what's going on in that way because you're trying to see an outcome, and that's how it goes, right? That's how it is. So let's see what's at the bottom. So the 5 of Swords start, there's conflict here on the left side. In the middle, there's 8 Pentacles up, there's prosperity. The World reverse, there's incompletion. So the way how this is, let me clarify. So let me clarify the left side about this conflict here. What's happening? Then I'll read you the Enchanted Mapp. This is going to be only starting with reading. So let's see. So let's see what's happening with this 5 of Swords, please. July 22nd to July 28th of 2025. Let's see what's happening. So, Ace of Swords, there's no anxiety. Page of Swords, there's occasion. Alright, so basically, there's no anxiety, but the 6 of Pentacles, so right there's kindness. Yeah, so you're trying to be kind. Because you're not being kind, but then you're thinking like, okay, I know what to do. So it's like you're trying to have a give and take situation. You're trying to know exactly how it is. You're trying to know about the know-how in that situation. You're trying to know what it takes, because that's how it goes, right? You're trying to do exactly what it is, because that's how it goes, right? It's like, alright, everything seems to be fine. Alright, I know what to do, but then that's how it goes, right? That's why it seems to be. What's this Ace of Pentacles about? The 10 of Pentacles here, there's no wealth. Nice, sorry, there's drama here. Yeah, so the 10 of Pentacles here, there's no wealth here. The 7 of Wands here, there's no silence. The 7 of Swords here, there's no deceit. 9 of Wands here, there's no fear. But the strength here is upright because you're having strength. You're having bravery, because you know what it is in that way, right? It's like how you're going to do it. You're trying to know what it is, because that's how it seems to be. You know what it is in that way. What's this World card about? The Temperance is upright, there's healing. Ace of Wands here, there's no achievement. Page of Pentacles is upright, there's prospects. Yeah, in that way, right? You're trying to prospect about what's going on in that way. So what's happening between this Page of Pentacles here? The Knight of Wands here, there's no immaturity. The Knight of Pentacles here, there's no trust. Ooh. Interesting. And just already you're telling the truth. Alright, so the way how this is, you're trying to know exactly what's going on in that way. It's like how you're going to do that in that, you know, how it is. You're trying to be a spectacle of how things are, and you're trying to get, you know, how it is in that way. It's like how you're going to do that, how you can do it. Because you're trying to know what it takes. So like how you're going to do it, but then you have to know about it in that way, right? It's like, alright, this just seems to be very interesting. But then it's like how you're going to do it, and you have to do it what it takes, because that's how it is, right? So let's see what this Enchanted Mapp tells me. What's going on? So let's see. Alright, so it says the Enchanted Mapp reversed for number 40 is follow the leader is reversed. So that's very interesting indeed. So it says, reverse for follow the leader. It says, reverse, the following the leader card of offers a gentle push to get up and take the lead. In relationship or partnership, be the one to voice what must be said. Muster your courage and speak your needs aloud. Affirm what you like and what you feel. Don't just hope for someone else to fix the problems you see. If your inquiry is about a career or project, you must take the initiative to draw up a proper plan. And if it's about a personal relationship, you must be clear about your intentions and desires. Boldly begin a discussion about how things really are and how to make the situation work for the highest good of all. Do this as soon as possible you may be pleasantly surprised by the results. So it means that you're going to take the lead, and you have to do exactly what it is in that way. It's like, okay, I know what to do, but then you understand what it seems to be. You're trying to emphasize of what you're going to get, what you want, what you into do exactly what it is, and it's like, okay, everything seems to be fine. Everything seems to be all good because that's how it is, right? So if you see it in one way or another, you have to know exactly what it is, exactly what it is in that way, and you have to know exactly how it is. So you're trying to behave in one way or another, and you have to take the lead in what you're going to be doing. That's how it is. But that's how it seems to be, right? So you have to know exactly what it is in that way, and you're thinking, all right, this seems to be all right. I know what it is, and when you do it, you have to know exactly what it is in that way, right? So you have to understand that. But this is how it is. So before I let you go, try to pay attention to what's happening in that way, and try to do exactly what it is, and you know what it takes, right? So this is how it seems to be. But I hope you all like this video. Please understand this. Please pay attention to it, and this is how it goes. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day to all, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye for now. Really, thank you, and bye.